Are you ready for a story that you can sell a whole program off? You want to hear that? This is something that I do, and they never get it, but we spent 3 days. So let's insist, or let's say, so I always say, you're here, right? You're a business person. You're here, and everybody makes plans in business, right? They all make project plans and blah, blah, blah. The question I think they should ask, should this be a project? But they never ask that. They always start a new project when there's a problem. So they're here and they say, okay, so then you make a project plan and you say, we want to go from here to there, right? And they say, yeah, that's what we do. I said, okay. So you make this big project plan and you get a project manager and a team and a project management office and you put all that stuff in place. And then you start the project. So I only have two hands. So you start project. Remember, you want to go here, right? You start walking, and all of a sudden, boom, you hit the problem because there's always a problem at some point, right? They hit a wall. So they start walking forward, and then boom, and they're like, oh, we just hit an obstacle. I said, this is a crucial point because you can do three things right now. Most people, they run into something and they go like, oh, we thought we would get there, but all of a sudden there's an obstacle. You can either, what most people do, and what I see in businesses, they go to other people and say, does this always happen to you that you start something and then you're on your way, you have passion and you have drive, and then there's always something, right? Do you have that too? Yeah, I have that too. Must be the company culture because there's always an obstacle. It's unbelievable. There's always something here that we run into. And then, the more people you have around you that agree, that become the culture because we agree that's a culture, right? It's something that we all agree on. So they start complaining, yeah, it's really hard to get things done in this company because every time you have a plan, then you hit an obstacle and what that gets you is sort of resignment. Like it's impossible to do something here because there's always objects, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Now, that's one way of reacting, right? That's the victim kind of mentality. There's always something. Everything's in place. We have the budget, we have the space, we have the good people, and then there's something, and oh my God, always. So that's one way. The other sort of reaction you can get is that these leaders, they go and then they hit an obstacle, and they go, ha, there's something that we have to conquer. We have to get through this, right? And what do the first thing they do? They want more people. They always ask for extra people or extra budget or anything like that, right? And they start like, oh, we need more budget because we need to break through. We need to get through this. That sort of leader. It's always about force. And of course, if they, do it hard enough, they can get through, but it costs a lot of energy and it's exhausting. And I always tell them there's a third reaction. So the first one is complaining to others and then agreeing that this company doesn't have a high performing culture. It's always the same culture, same story, blah, blah, blah. The second one is let's go get through this, very male kind of energy. The third one is something they never think of. And the third one is that when they're standing here in front of the problem, I always say, what's visible when you stand in front of the problems? The only thing you can see is the problem. And it looks huge because from this perspective, you cannot see anything else but the problem. Does it make sense what I'm saying? You can only see the problem. So the only thing you need to do is take 3 steps back. And then you go, oh, wait a minute. First of all, the problem is just this little sheet. It's not, there's a lot of space that's not a problem. And from here, I can see, wait a minute, I can go around and reach my goal. And it's often a flip chart with wheels on it, or I can just take the flip chart and roll it to this side, and then I go towards my goal.